helping that jailer with the weird face, are you? Might as well throw me in the stocks then. I ain't going down peaceful, that's for sure. I want to go to my family. What am I talking about? Everyone treats me like some old fool who doesn't know what he's talking about. I can see what everyone around me is plotting. I'll remember all of this. You hear me? They live in the lower district. I'll go to them, but that cursed wench won't let me leave. Bollocks! There's been no Red Death since King Arthur's times. I bet she's the one who filled your head with all that nonsense, eh? Don't listen to her. You can tell right away that nothing good comes from her. Good folk don't end up twisted like she is. What do you want? Who are you?
Always a pleasure to see you.
Spare a coin for the hungry. Have some spare food or coin? Anything helps.
Oh, is that you, Roy? Have you finally come to visit your grandpa? I won't listen to this drivel. One more lie, and you'll all regret it. Anyone could write such nonsense. That's it. I've had enough of your scheming. Goodbye.
Hello. Have you? Yes, it's possible. You'll have to forgive me. I don't recall much of what happens after sunrise. During the day, I am absent. It's as though my soul leaves my body to wander far away. All I know is that life continues around me, but it's like I'm enveloped in a dense fog, unable to see any colors. It feels as though there's a hidden compartment inside me where, during the day, all my thoughts and feelings accumulate without my knowledge. They churn within me, and when night falls, they pour out all at once and overwhelm me. I was on my way back to Connacht. I thought I'd make it before dark, but the rain was so heavy I could barely see the road ahead of me. As night fell, so did the weirdness. The rain never let up. I kept trying to light the protective fire, but to no avail. I felt completely helpless and desperate. That's when she appeared. Melancholy. She had an otherworldly look. Her head seemed to merge with the rain clouds. She approached me, and suddenly, I felt terrible pain as though my soul was being torn away. I shut my eyes. When I opened them again, she had vanished. The pain was gone. I was left alone in the rainy night. No, she never said a word, yet somehow I knew that was her name. Drained, I somehow made it to the gates of Connacht. By some miracle, the guards agreed to let me in and pointed me toward the hospital. When morning came, I felt as if I wasn't wholly there, as if melancholia had stolen my day. It feels like this every day. Even if you managed to find my day, you'd still need to wrest it from melancholy's grasp. I don't know what kind of creature she is or what further horrors it might bring. Would you really risk your life for a stranger? Your courage is admirable. I couldn't ask that of you, but I won't refuse your help either. But if you decide that the challenge is too great, do not hesitate to save your own life.
Damn it. Damn it. I know you tried. This isn't your fault. It's mine. Wilbur was my patient. I can't run this hospital all on my own. It's an impossible task. And where will the people turn then? Even if I wait for Camelot to take them in here. If that ever happens, I don't share the legate's conviction that everyone would just leave Connacht. Whoever stays behind, they can't be left without help. Someone with money, preferably. I won't lie. I've thought about it already. More than once. Someone who can supply us with ingredients. Maybe an alchemist to make the medicines. At one point, I even considered asking the Red Priests for help. But Neonte would have my head. Then I thought about Orwin and the Merchants' Union. but I can't abandon the patients just to have a long discussion about the business prospects of a failing hospital. You do that? For me? Why? I just told you the hospital has no money. I can't pay you for your efforts. That's very noble of you. But still, when the hospital is back on its feet, I'll find a way to repay you. Thank you. Even if it doesn't work out. Your offer means the world to me. I've been alone with this for so long. It's good to finally have some hope.
Have some spare food or coin? Anything else?
If it's quality you seek, you've come to the right place. She is? That's interesting news. Though I had no idea the hospital had financial problems. I thought it was funded by our brave Camelosian army. Or was it Lord Yvain? I can never remember. That I don't doubt. But you see, I prefer it when business is simple. Complicated sounds like the opposite of a good opportunity. That's true. But in Connacht, people would sooner dig up their grandmother's miracle recipes than pay for something they used to get for free. I need some concrete ideas. I'm not sure if the locals are, let's say, flexible enough for something like this. It's not a terrible idea, but it might bring us more losses than profits. Fine, I just hope we don't all end up regretting this. You'll need to get others on board, so try to show a little enthusiasm when you talk to them. Start with Bonksy and Osmond, then speak to Irwin. We'll need an alchemist, after all. The more support we have, the better.
Oh, hello there.
Good to see you. I don't know. I got an offer to supply ingredients for healing potions. But honestly, that doesn't sound very exciting. My adventures are more about leaping over chasms and escaping collapsing ruins than gathering wildflowers. Maybe so, but it's still not worth spending as much time on it as Alwyn wants. I could be exploring underground labyrinths or running from guards across rooftops instead. You know what? You're right. That could work. I can't go anywhere until I sell off all my wares. How about it? Want to take the lot? I'll give you a big discount. Yes? Did you manage to scrape together the money? Oh, I hope so. I'm starting to feel like I'm rooted to this spot. Fantastic! If you don't need something, you can always sell it later and even make a profit. Let Alwyn know I'm in, and I can't wait for my first trip to gather ingredients. The world's too big to sit still. I gotta keep moving.
Oh, hello there. Welcome. I haven't seen you around before, but since you decided to visit, I can tell that you have excellent taste. One day, a friend of mine asked me if her new dress looked good, and I told her, "You have excellent taste." She was tickled pink and said, "Oh, do you really think so?" And I said, "Absolutely. After all, you came to me for advice." Now, let's get down to business. My name is Osmond. If you're in need of a bow or some arrows, I'm here to explain everything and offer you some advice. I envy you. If I only had access to bows like this when I was younger. Hello. Coming back to me, I see. You must have excellent taste. No. Good advice is always handy, especially when it comes from someone experienced. And believe me, when it comes to archery, I'm not just an expert. I'm beyond that. In fact, I'd be surprised if you found anyone on Avalon who knows more about it than I do. Well, find me someone else who's been doing this for over 40 years. Every aspect of it. Back in '84, I was chosen to represent Connacht in the team archery tournament. And I wasn't even a lick over 18 back then. During one round, we were shooting at targets 100 meters away. The target was the size of a small apple and the wind was blowing from the left. So, I took aim, and wham! Right in the middle. Even the captain of the Camelot team jumped up and asked, "Have you got any more like this one? Maybe the boy would rather shoot for us." If you were older, you surely would have heard of me. I could have been the first of Avalon's archers. They almost knighted me. But as it happened, I joined the watch, got married, and, well, that was that. Hey, if only I'd had the common sense back then that I have now. About Connacht, what do you want to know? There's not much to say. They told us the menhir's gone out, and now they want to move us along with it, but the way they're handling it, they've been here for weeks. If I were in charge of the Camelot troops, we'd have been done in 3 days. He's a good man, but that woman of his, oh, mother preserve me. She once set herself on fire along with half the mansion. Yvain nearly lost his life trying to save her. Honestly, I'd have just let her burn. She wants to go up in smoke, be my guest. It's a shame about the mansion, though. I was born here, and I've been shooting a bow ever since I was a wee lad. Even as a nipper, I had better aim than boys 5 years older than me. Around 81 or 82, I remember being allowed to practice with the adults, even though I was only 14 or so. One time, our master, we called him Uncle, gathered us in a meadow. He said, "Lads, we're gonna have a contest. Whoever shoots the farthest gets a honeyed apple and a beer from me." They were shooting and shooting, but I just took one glance, aimed, and whoosh. My arrow flew half again as far as their farthest shot. 300 meters, easily. So they turned to me and went, "Come on, Osmond, we can't compete with you. You always win." Osmond, you always win. That's what they said. I could have joined Camelot's army. With my aim, they would have made me one of the royal archers. But leaving was tough, especially since the girls here love to watch me shoot. They'd squeal with delight every time. And in Camelot, during a war, who knows what might have happened, so I decided to stay in Connacht and join the Watch. In the Watch, I taught others to shoot. Some of them loved those lessons so much they kept practicing even after sunset. So I'd ask them, "What are you doing here? You can't even see the target." And they'd reply, "Oh, but the lessons with you are just too short, and we're really excited about archery." I kept participating in tournaments. People often bet against me, claiming I couldn't hit a bird in flight or a birch as thin as 2 fingers. I usually came out on top, earning a decent amount of money. But somehow it all just vanished over time. Then I quit the Watch and began trading in top quality bows and arrows. That's all there is to know about me. Oh, and I have an adult daughter, but I'm not sure if she's still around. She left Connacht and we lost touch. Gossip is for women and innkeepers. You should see Morag for that. She's both. She's a good one. About 3 years ago, I helped her fix her roof because her husband had died, and there was no one else to do it. She still mentions it. "Osmond, you fixed that roof better than any roofer could." She tells me that every time she sees me. Ha! I'm not surprised he's asking me. Without my financial backing and, more importantly, my experience, most of the guild's investments wouldn't stand a chance. They really value my involvement, and that gives me leverage. In other words, I can do a bit of bargaining. Have you heard the legend of Robbie of Grubwood? A bandit who stole from rich merchants and gave the gold to commoners. They say he was an incredible archer. At least, that's how the story goes. People say the same about me, but I'm still waiting for someone to write a song about me, like they did for Robbie. It's only a matter of time. Robbie's long dead. I heard someone in his gang betrayed him. He's buried in a tomb not far from here, along with his bow. And that bow has been on my mind for a while now, you see. According to legend, it's made from centuries-old yew, and enchanted by a druid whose life Robbie once saved. Bring me that bow, and I'll support Alwyn's investment. What do you say? That's what I like to hear. I always say sticking close to older, more experienced folks is worth it. There's so much you can learn from them. Am I right? Of course I am! What about it? You found it? Then what are you waiting for? When I was your age, I'd already have been there and back twice by now. As it happens, there's something you can do for me. I've written a letter to Lord Yvain, a few suggestions on how, in my view, he ought to handle this whole business with Camelot. Figured he could use a bit of advice from someone with strategic sense, a head for negotiation, and a touch of military experience. Would you take it to him? You've got younger legs, and I'd rather not leave my stall unattended. I'll give you a few coins for your trouble. Brilliant! Here you go, just don't lose it. I've only got the one copy, and I've no mind to write it all out again.
Nice to see you.
wasn't expecting company.
Hello again. What do you need today? What about it? You found it? Oh, quite elegant indeed. It just needs one small adjustment. Do you know how many legends and songs I've heard about this Robbie guy? Oh, what a remarkable marksman he was. Splitting an arrow already lodged in the bullseye with his own during a tournament. What a story. But did anyone actually see it happen? Why make up nonsense when there are just as good or even better living archers out there? One of them lives right here in Connacht. Why not write songs about him? A bandit is a bandit, and yet here we are turning a thief and murderer into some sort of romantic hero. Some hero. I gave my word, didn't I? And do you know who breaks their word? People without honor, thieves and bandits. No one would ever call me that. Everyone knows I keep my promises. Oh? How did it go? Did he read it? What did he say? So what, you're keeping it tucked away somewhere, waiting for the perfect moment. Just remember, the longer you put it off, the less that letter's worth. After the fact, even the best advice means nothing.
Oh, hello there.
Got money? I've got elixirs. Got money? And? I assume you're here to hand me an invitation? Let's skip the pleasantries. Why would merchants take over the patronage of a hospital? And why should I have anything to do with it? I've been having a serious problem with my supplies lately. The Red Church is hoarding every remotely valuable alchemical ingredient for themselves. Here's a list of items I particularly need. Come back when you have everything. Then I'll join this union, whatever that turns out to be. Now off with you. You've got plenty of work ahead.
You doing okay?
What brings you this way?
What? Where did you even get these? So you're telling me that beneath Connacht, there's even more Connacht, full of forbidden knowledge? Oh, mother help me. How did you even stumble on a place like that?
The one I specifically asked her to leave alone. And I suppose her leave will be delayed indefinitely. And thank you for bringing this to me. But next time, maybe think twice before risking your neck for someone else's curiosity. I'll await your return. I'll await your...
So, Denholm's put a hold on my leave. Because of what you told him, I'm guessing. Not exactly the news I wanted to hear. I know, and honestly, I can't really blame you. After all, I'm the one who said to take those scrolls to him. Should have known better. Denholm's not exactly one for letting things slide. But what's done is done. Might as well make the most of it.
My, what a fine lad you are. Were I a touch younger, I'd consider running away with you. Reginald be damned. As you should be. I used to be quite the catch back in the day, you know. I didn't make it easy for Reginald to win me over, but he was always a stubborn man. It flattered me, that stubbornness. I should have listened to my mother when she told me a headstrong husband is just as bad as a lazy one. One does nothing, the other wants everything done his way. But I thought I knew better, and now, here I am. Every marriage has its ups and downs, especially one that's lasted as long as ours. We worked hard our whole lives, raised our children right. I had hoped for a little peace at the end of the road, but now they say the weirdness is coming, and my husband insists we stay. I know I don't have much time left, but there are better ways to die than in the fog. It is hard. I'm not saying it's not. But we wouldn't be begging for the kindness of strangers. We have a son in Burrow. He already wrote and said he'd take us in. But Reginald said no, and that was the end of it. Take care out there.
You're trying to... Who goes there? You're not from round here, are you? Whatever you've got to say, I'm not interested. I'm not going anywhere. Love? Nah, it's a shithole. All my life I've watched it turn into a dump. And it only got worse without lordling at the helm. But I gave everything I had to this land. We've had good years, sure. But we've also had years when we went hungry for days so our kids wouldn't starve. The weirdness, Just another storm to weather. Everything'll turn out fine in the long run. Good, because I won't. And make sure it stays that way. And you've been through many droughts in your life. If you had, you'd know there's nothing simple about them. You just stand there and watch your crops die, praying for rain that never comes, wondering if your children are strong enough to survive this one. And the fat years aren't much better. You grow tall crops, and then you gotta strain your ears for straw children skulking around at harvest. Until the weirdness can make work in the land any worse than it already is. Mora's always been a worrywart. If anything goes awry, it's the end of the world for her. And don't even get me started on the nagging. Everything'll be fine. It always is, in the end. Besides, we won't be alone. Reese and Ida are staying. And they know how to work around the weirdness better than anyone. And do what? Fart into a bench and mooch off my children? I'd rather die than become the kind of father who turns into a burden. As long as I can lift a hoe, I'll work the fields. And if I can't do that anymore, then what good am I? No, I won't become a useless old man. I'd rather keel over here and now. Huh.
Didn't think anyone would stop by. It's no use. Truth is, that's a fear we both share. No one has it easy these days. I'd rather our children remember us as we were, not as doddering old fools who showed up and disrupted their lives. If that means dying in the weirdness, then so be it. Thank you for listening. Not many young folk bother talking to old geezers like us. Give me your map. I'll mark where we buried a few things from Reginald's past. They're no good to us anymore, but perhaps you'll find them useful. Take care out there.
If you want to buy eggs, go talk to the missus. Though consider yourself warned, you eat them at your own peril. No need to worry. Yeah, the missus told me to say that to anyone asking after the eggs. Or grains, or veggies, or anything, really. So they know not to come crying if they find ears growing in unmentionable places. Not that it happens very often. Just, you know, what you see is what you get. Nothing wrong. Well, not at the moment. We'll see how the next crop comes in. It's been a bit hit and miss lately. The wheat was a nice surprise because, you know, it's the wrong season, and we were worried about the glowing. But it turned out to be perfectly good wheat. On the other hand, the turnips were not so good. We fed them to the pig as we always do, and it turned her inside out. Poor thing, eh? Maybe it's time to move the plots within the range of the weirdness repellents again. Aye, that we do. It was getting into the crops one way or the other, so why not use it, you know? You see, with the weirdness, sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not. But the good has saved us from starving to death. I ate potatoes that looked like pig hearts and carrots that tasted like what standing in a field in the middle of the night feels like. All perfectly nice food. I say, it's better to have a meal that's a tiny bit different than what you're used to, than not to have one at all. Aye, it may be. But it's not like we got a long stretch to live, the missus and I. We didn't want to just lie down and wait for death. And I bet we ain't the only ones. What else are folks to do in this blasted weather? All ready for winter, but winter won't come. And if winter won't come, neither will spring. The last normal harvest came and went ages ago. I'm telling you, if not for the weirdness, we'd all be dead by now. And make my missus a widow? Pah! The whole area's full of monsters, and they sure ain't edible. We tried that once, and, well, let's just say we never tried it again. I see. You're with those Camelotians who want to run us out. We've already told your lot. We ain't going anywhere. If we die here, then so be it. And I ain't talking about it no more, so don't even try. Pumpkins, you say? Oh, I don't know. Are you sure about that? Well, see, with most crops, you plant them in the weirdness, and maybe they turn out alright, or maybe they turn out weird-touched. But pumpkins, they're a whole different story. They bloody love the weirdness. Or the weirdness loves them, I'm not sure. Either way, they always end up weird-touched. If you're lucky, they'll just grow really big and make you see everything in orange. If you're not, they might grow teeth that eat your entire family. All right then, it's your funeral. That's gonna be a weird one, that's for sure. Oh, my back doesn't like this weather. Doesn't like it at all.
Another one? We've had enough strangers in Connacht. You lot bring nothing but trouble. Which ones do you want to hear about? The Camelotians who want to take Armenier and rob us of our land? Or the Red Priests knocking on everyone's door and dragging people out into the streets? We already had enough problems without all those prissy arseholes adding to them. Aye, more of them every day. And no just in the village either. I saw a few of the younger ones wandering around outside, looking for trouble. They say they're looking for people sick with the Red Death, but all they do is drag decent people out of their homes and haul them off to all mother knows where. And people still get taken by the plague, so what good are they? Bunch of quacks. The Camelotians are saying our Mynheer is dying, and when it goes out, we'll get snuffed by the weirdness. Vipers, the lot of them. Yvain brought them here a while ago to help with the Coon Act. That's what he told us, anyway. And now? Now they want to take our Mynheer. Pah! Not just the Mynheer. They want to take everything. They're saying all the folks here will have to move. All mother only knows where. My old man won't hear a word of it. And you know what? I don't blame him. We've worked too hard. We've gone through too much to just leave everything behind. Aye, why no? Everyone says me auntie's girl got touched by the weirdness. But she's still here, ain't she? Besides, we know the weirdness. We live with it every day. If it kills me, then so be it. There's no much left for me in this world anyway. our priestess. Or rather, Yvain's priestess. Because we haven't seen hide nor hair of her in ages. She took Ailey in, and that ended up being a blessing for us all. She might be a little odd with that eye of hers, but she's a sweet girl. Go talk to her and you'll see. I might be an old woman, but I am no one to gossip. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Makes no difference to me. They could promise me a palace and I still wouldn't leave. This farm belonged to my father, and it belonged to his father before him. When my older brother died, I promised Pa I would nae let this place fall to ruin. I hoped to pass this land on to my children, but, well, they ended up buried in it. It's only fair that I should rest here with them. I know some do. The two brothers from the neighboring farm, they can't wait to be rid of that place. But it's no wonder, with the life they've had there. Not to sound like an old woman, but I'd say their farm is cursed. You see, there's an old well on their field, right at the very edge. If you go there at night, you can hear something wailing and growling inside. Truth be told, if I were in their shoes, I'd have run for the hills ages ago. Ha! Welcome in, you say, when your lot just barges in and takes whatever you please. Like old Norm's woodshed. That got requisitioned by Camelot. They shoved some fancy paper in his face and said, "This is ours now." They say it's all fair because Norm got compensated. But what about us, huh? We lent Norm our best axe ages ago, and he left it in that bloody shed. Why? Huh. Maybe you do. But I don't trust folks who offer things for free. They always want something sooner or later. We may not have much, but we're honest folk. Bring me back that axe and I'll pay you. Just don't get caught. Eggs, some veggies. There's no much to spare, but we share what we can.
Welcome to my corner of misery, traveler. Whatever brings you here, just know you're wasting your time. The weirdness is coming closer every day. Started in the deep woods and now it's almost at our doorstep. Town's slowly emptying. All the smart ones left weeks ago. But now, Even if you're trying to get out, good luck with that. The soldiers set up a checkpoint at the gate leading to the main road to Camelot. Now it's blown. They said it was a landslide. Or an avalanche. I don't know. That was one of the safe routes. The further you go, the thicker the weirdness gets. Swallows entire patrols sometimes. 3 Camelotian soldiers disappeared last week. Official story says desertion, but I saw what was left of their gear. Twisted like paper, heavy steel bent like it was cloth. I hunted in those woods for 40 years. And yes, now the trees, they don't stay where they should. Animals speak in tongues. But the truth is, I've got nothing worth protecting. My heart, my flask, my memories, the weirdness can have it all. Might even be an improvement. Worried? I'm 58 years old. Lost my wife to the fever, son to the war, my livelihood to the weirdness. The world's been ended for me for years. The weirdness is just making it official. So I drink. Makes the show more entertaining while it lasts. Well, perhaps there's still some decency left in this dying world after all. You know, I used to be the best hunter in 3 villages. To track a fox through a rainstorm. Now, I can't even trust the forest to stay where I left it. Here, my old bow served me well for 30 years. Not much use to me now with these shaky hands. But it might just keep you alive out there. The weirdness doesn't take kindly to visitors, but sometimes speed and a sharp eye make all the difference. Good luck, traveler. If you make it back this way, I'll still be here. Until I'm not. Good luck, traveler.
Evening, traveler. Wouldn't wander out there if I were you. Nights are getting darker, and the weirdness seems to creep closer every cursed night. Are you really that out of the loop? Monsters. The kind that don't fancy staying put in old drunkards' tales, and they're getting bolder, coming closer to the fields. These stubborn soil kissers here won't budge, clinging to their rotten roots like it's all golden. And someone's got to keep the night's teeth from their doors. So, here I stand. Well, I might have something that could light your way, and singe a monster or two while you're at it. Fire arrows. These beasts hate fire even more than I hate my posting. For a few coins, they're all yours. Helps me sleep easier knowing I'm peddling more than just warnings. Good luck out there.
Are you looking to buy the mill? It's seen better days, that's for sure. Even when my good-for-nothing father was alive. It needs work, but everything does if you want it to be worth something, right? Ah, well, I see. I thought the Lord was looking to sell it again, but that wouldn't make much sense, would it? I overheard people talking about leaving. Who in their right mind would buy a haunted mill in a dead village? Maybe when it finally falls apart, I'll go with it. Oh, my father owned the mill once. Then after he passed, my brother took it. Then his children, then theirs. As for me, I died as the miller's daughter, for the terrible crime of being the miller's daughter. The truth is, I don't remember my name. It's been so long since anyone living has spoken it. It was stupid. You see, my father was a drunkard who liked to brag, and the more he drank, the more he bragged. The problem was, not a single word he said was ever true. And for some reason, he decided to tell people I could spin gold from straw. That ridiculous rumor made its way to King Sagramore. He locked me in a cell full of straw and told me it had to be spun into gold by morning. Well, what do you think happened? I sat in that cell, choking on the stench of rotting straw, and cried Then I screamed myself hoarse, begging someone, anyone, to let me out. By morning, my throat was dry as parchment and full of dust. But when the first rays of sunlight streamed through the tiny window, I cried again. I remember shaking all the way to the block, but my last thought was of my father, and oh, it was vicious. I don't know. One moment I was dead, and the next, well, I was still dead, but I was home again. It was like looking through a veil, still in this world, yet no longer part of it. Every beam and plank so familiar, yet not. He hanged himself, right there from that beam. I visited him, in dreams and in the waking world, until he couldn't take it anymore. I overheard someone say it must have been the guilt of my death gnawing at him. Stupid people. He wouldn't have felt a shred of guilt if I hadn't reminded him. First of all, he wasn't a king. He just liked calling himself that. Now that I think about it, surely that wasn't allowed, was it? He was a small, jittery man, yet in that cell, he loomed so large over me. I wonder, did he too lose his head for claiming to be something he was not? I'm not sure. I've seen the sun rise and set so many times. I stopped counting. What would be the point? Time means nothing to me. Through the cracks in the walls, I watched the seasons change. I listened to the millstones turn, until one day, it all stopped. The mill, the seasons, now everything is so still, death-like, almost. It was beautiful, actually. The fields shimmered pale gold in the sun, carrying the scent of warm dust and ripe grain. The whitewashed walls made the town glow. And the men here, I always liked our men here, you know. It looks a bit frightening, but it always felt warm. It used to, at least. Now it feels more like me with each passing day. Help? Why would I need help? I'm fine. Nothing hurts. I can see everything through the windows and the cracks in the walls. I can watch the mice in the corner all day, and no one scolds me for lazing around. I'm content. But it's kind of you to ask. People don't always care about the well-being of strangers, especially ones who are already dead. If you hear someone whispering from the mill, don't be afraid. It's only me. I once visited my cousin in a village north of here. She had just had a baby. They're so tiny. I wonder what became of them. I'll still be here. I always am.
Always good to have a little rest. Hey there, traveler. Better not go much further tonight. Strange things tend to assail our lands with the wilderness on the rise. Oh, it's quite the lineup out there. We've got creeping shadows and gnashing beasts that start to lurk as soon as the sun dips. They're more than just ghost stories now. They're right on our doorstep. and they seem to get bolder with each passing night. And miss all the action? No way. The folks here are stubborn, won't leave their lands. They need protection, and I'm here to give it. Plus, I get to be on the front lines if anything happens. Sure thing, I've got fire arrows. They work wonders against those creatures. It seems like they hate fire even more than I love the thrill of a good skirmish. I can part with some for a few coins. Helps you, helps me. That makes the night watch feel less like a chore and more like preparation for the big leagues. Take care out there.
Come on. We can't sell Daisy. We're gonna need her.
What we're going to need is money. And she'll fetch a good price.
We still need to move somehow, don't we? She could pull the cart.
We have Clover for that. Look, I know how much this horse means to you, but I've already talked to Dinholm. He's willing to pay a lot of gold for her.
But what if we...
No, Gil. Enough. We're selling her, and that's that. If you're interested in buying a horse, look somewhere else. This one's spoken for. She'll be going all the way to Camelot. Sure, are you? You willing to pay 300 gold? Fine, you have a deal. Dinholm will need to find himself a different mare. Aye, man's name is Dinholm. Seems important. Lots of men with him. They're here for the minute. Haven't you heard? They're moving everyone. Something to do with that menhir of ours. Don't really care either way. As long as they keep their promises and give us a better place to live. Aye, and Morin Pa would rather us alive somewhere else than dead here. Don't know yet, but we're strong and we're not afraid of hard work. I'm a decent carpenter, and Gil is good with horses. I'm sure we'll find something for ourselves. That's one way of putting it. This farm belonged to our grandfather. My parents were tending it, but he was the one in charge. Both Ma and Pa died when Gil was still small. That left us with just dear old Grandpa. And he was a nasty piece of work. Drunk most of the time. Built like a barn door. That's something Gil got from him, I guess. He liked beating me to a pulp and telling me I was worthless. I remember he had this belt with a heavy iron buckle, shaped like a horse's head. He got it for his service as the master of horses at Warriors' Fair. Man, that one hit hard. Shame the old codger took it with him to his grave. I wish I could have kept it. So when I'd see some lowlife beating their kid, I could use it on them just like Grandpa taught me. Aye, it was. Until one day, Gil told me that he saw Grandpa pissed drunk and walking into the woods. I prayed that someone would just eat the old bastard, And I guess for the first time in my life, my prayers were answered. And what? Let him die to the weirdness? Are you insane? I've not spent years of my life making sure he doesn't get killed just to stop now. Besides, Camelot's not asking. You either leave with everything you own, or they'll make you leave with only the clothes on your back. Yeah, they're doing their job. For now. But let's not kid ourselves. This is a delay, not a solution. We've got time to think, and that's about it. I've seen enough to know this place isn't safe. Staying means taking a gamble, and I'm not a fan of bad odds. We should leave while we still can. If it gets worse, we'll have no choice but to leave. I just hope we'll have something worth bringing with us when that time comes. Be careful out there. It can get dangerous, especially at night.
Please, take good care of Daisy. She was orphaned as a foal, so I pretty much raised her myself. Trust me, she's the best horse you'll ever have. I guess. I've spent a lot of time with him. Rob would always send me to the stables when I was getting underfoot. He'd say, "Gil, you go to the stables and don't you show your face again until I tell you." I guess I must have been an annoying kid. I do. Pa had to borrow money from Grandpa to buy it, and he had to work so hard to prove that he deserved it. After he and Ma passed away, Rob kept on working, and I did my best to help. Grandpa was, well, I don't know. I didn't see much of him in those days. And now we're supposed to just leave after everything. It feels like we're letting him down. He never seemed so bad to me. But like I said, he didn't bother me too much. If he was in a good mood, he'd even show me a thing or two around the stables. Though that didn't happen often. But I suspect things might have been different for Rob. It does give you some hope, doesn't it? The lanterns make it feel like the farm can breathe again, even if it's just for a while. That's more than we've had in years. I get where Rob is coming from, but this place is home. It's where our parents tried to build their lives. Leaving feels like giving up on everything they worked for. Take care of yourself. And Daisy. Until next...
I know. He loves this place, and he loves his horses. I'd rather just forget all about it. Gil's memories of this farm are different from my own, and I only have myself to blame. Mind you, I don't regret any of it, but it sure doesn't make things easier with him. Be careful out there. It can get dangerous, especially at night.
What a nice day. You doing okay? Oh, hello there.